Hi, I'm Caleb Giddings from Gun Nuts Media, and in today's video we're going to be going over a simple thing that you can do to get better at performance-based shooting. Dry fire. Performance-based shooting is kind of a strange phrase, isn't it? All shooting should be performance-based, and yet there's a growing number of people who are resistant to using objective performance standards to measure their ability to shoot a gun. I think that's dumb, and I think those people are just lazy. Now, the other thing that I believe is that if you want to get better at shooting, but you have limited access to ammunition or limited access to a live fire range, you can use dry fire. I am not a big believer in grinding out hour-long sessions of dry fire. It's not helpful, at least for me. Maybe it is for you, but it's not for me. What is very helpful for me is getting in 10 minutes of focused dry fire practice 5 days a week, travel and work schedule permitting. When I was working up to make a run at getting my fast coin with a Beretta 92, which I successfully accomplished, dry fire was a huge part of me building the skills necessary to be able to successfully manipulate the gun with a reasonable degree of with a reasonable degree of not friggin' thinking about it when I was actually going through the drill. The important components of the 10-minute dry fire session are this. Pick 2 skills that you want to work on. We're going to use the decreasing par time method that Steve Anderson has in his dry fire book. Ben Steger also uses the decreasing par time method when he's building dry fire skill. And what we're going to do is a slightly modified version of that decreasing par time method. So, here's what you need for a 10-minute dry fire session. You need a aiming reference. You can ball out and use something like these dry fire targets from the Ben Steger Pro Shop. Or you can use something as simple as a paper plate or a 3x5 index card or a light switch or whatever. The next thing you're going to need is the gear setup that you actually plan on using for whatever it is that you're training for. If you're training for concealed carry, you should dry fire with your concealed carry rig in clothes that you actually wear out on the street. If you're training for a match, for some sort of competition, you should dry fire using your match gear. The next thing you're going to need is a shot timer. This is the CED Pocket Pro 2, and this will be up on my new Amazon store, which you can get to at amazon.com/shop/gunnutsmedia. We'll have this in our recommended products section on the Amazon store, so make sure you check that out. And then, of course, you're going to need your gun, which it really looks like I just chambered around. I didn't. This magazine is empty. The slide doesn't reliably lock to the rear with these 20-round stendos. I'm using my Beretta APX RDO with a Trijicon RMR. Really need to spend some time working with this gun. I took it to the Miami Open this past weekend and I got junked because it was the first match I'd shot with a red dot sighted gun, and taking it to a major maybe wasn't a good idea, but that's why I'm here. I'm here to practice. The other thing that you're going to need that I strongly recommend that you have are realistic dummy rounds. Now these are painted black, and the reason they're painted black is I don't have any real bullets that have black cases on them, so I can differentiate them with a press check from a live round. But I'm a big advocate for this because it absolutely affects the weight of the gun. So if I'm doing something like working on my draw stroke from a competition holster and I'm not using real rounds, it's going to change the way it feels. It's absolutely going to change it, all right? So you want to have this practice session be as realistic as possible without having, real ammo in the gun, because we can't shoot real ammo in our house. I mean, you can once. Ask my dad about that sometime. Anyway, let's get into the components of this practice session. So for the sake of this, I'm going to do a couple of demos. I'm going to do draws, and I'm going to do a reload, all right? The goal here is I'm going to do 5 reps, and I'm going to start with 5 reps at no par time. So that's going to look something like, I wonder if I have a par set on my timer right now. Sure do. All right, here we go. So 5 reps at no par time is going to look something like this. All right, I'm going to draw the gun. I'm going to extend it to the target just like I would if I was firing, but I'm not going to be moving really, really, really fast, okay? Now, before I've started doing this, I've set a goal time. Let's say my goal time is 0.7 seconds. All right, that's the goal that I want to hit today. So now I'm going to count up in increments from 0.7 to 4 increments up. So 0.8, 0.9, 1.1, 1.2. All right, so after I do my 5 reps with no par time, I'm going to do 5 reps at 1.2. So the idea is to do 20 reps, all right? So I do 5 reps with no par time, 5 reps at 1.2, 5 reps at 1.1, 5, etc., moving my way down. Man, I'm not good at math, am I? 0.7 is my goal, so I'm going to do 0.8, 0.9, 1, 1.1. Okay. Never mind. I'm going to go to 1.1, not 1.2. I'm shooting this all in one take today. So anyway, we're going to go to a 1.1 par time. So after I do my 5 reps to get everything dialed in the way I want it, now I'm going to put that par time in. I'm going to start with 1.1, which is a par time I should be able to beat pretty handily. Let's see. Oh yeah, I got that. And one thing that you have to do in dry fire is you have to be honest with yourself, all right? If I do a bad rep, so right here, I did a bad rep, the gun's not where I want it to be, it's not pointed at the target, that doesn't count. And you have to be honest with yourself. You can't say, oh, okay, there we go, now I got it. Be honest with yourself in dry fire, otherwise you're not doing yourself any favors and you're not helping your practice. All right, so here's 1.1 again. Pew! All right, got that. If you're wondering why I'm not pressing the trigger, that's not part of this drill. That's a different drill that I want to work on, but this drill, this specific draw drill, is purely working the mechanics of a fast draw. So I want to eliminate the trigger press from this specific drill. I will sometimes practice a draw with a trigger press, but not always. If I'm just working on the mechanics of moving my body, then I don't want to worry about pressing the trigger. All right, so now the next thing I would do is I would go down to 1 second, then 0.9 seconds, then 0.8 seconds, then 0.7 seconds. The point of setting my goal time is your goal time needs to be sufficiently fast that you can't 100% get it. Like, you need to jack up, and I'm about to jack this up because I'm at 0.7 now. So I did not get that. It was close, but I didn't get it. That one I would have to go back and look at this in slow-mo. I felt like I was right there. The dot arrived in the window as the beep ended, so I'm going to say that was a good one. Definitely did not get that. I was slow off the beat. All right, but you get the idea. That's the progression that we're going to do for this. We're going to start with no par time and work our way down to our goal time. And our goal time should be sufficiently difficult that you can't get it 100% of the time. And it's the same thing with reloads. So here I'm going to turn my par time back off. And I'm going to change the way my gun's set up. So I'm going to take this full magazine, put it in my pouch that I would do a reload from, put an empty mag in the gun, and now I'm going to do reloads. Again, starting with no par time. Alright, so that's what that looks like. 1 reload, no par time. I do 4 more reps, then I'm going to move my way down my pars to get to where I want. Today I'm going to say my goal time is 1 second. So that means my next par, or my first par, is going to be 1.4 seconds. So let's go ahead and try to get a 1.4 second reload. And then I'm going to skip all the way down to a 1 second reload and see if I can do that. Let me tell you, 1 second reloads, not easy. Again, I'm not putting a trigger press in here. I'm just working on the mechanics of reloading the gun quickly, all right? Will I train this with a trigger press? Absolutely, just not today. Here's 1.4. so I got 1.4 pretty easily. Let's try one flat. I tell you, I've been working on a one flat reload. It is not an easy trick by any means. That was real close. Didn't quite get it. Very, very close. My magazine made a loud noise dropping on the floor. I do recommend, if you're going to work on reloading, drop your magazines over a bed or a carpet or something soft, not these hard-ass tile floors I have here. Anyway, that's it. That's our 10-minute dry fire training session. If you do these, you start no par time, and then you work your way down in 0.1 second increments till you get to your goal time. And once you can reliably hit your goal time for 5 clean reps, 95% of the time, lower your goal time. Go even faster. I will tell you, there will be some days that you will be able to just like, kabam, oh, I nailed it. Kabam, oh, I nailed it. And then the next day you'll be tired or you'll be hungover or whatever, and you'll go out and you'll suck, all right? Don't let that get you down. Keep progressing. Keep working. I'm Caleb Giddings. Thanks for watching. And remember, until next time, run your gun and sometimes run your mouth.